Hello, Scorpions. This is Don with Sonoran Mystic Tarot, and thank you for popping in. This is your weekly reading for the week of June 26th through July 2nd. So let's get to it. Let's see what Spirit and the Universe has in store for you. Well, I've shuffled the cards and I'm ready to go. Let's see again what Spirit and the Universe has for you. All right, I'm loving this energy. This energy is the Knight of Cups. And the Knight of Cups is that moving on forward to happier times, moving on forward with a good, strong feeling of happiness and joy, a time of betterness, a time of feeling more, I don't know, just again, happier and more excited about life and those kind of things. So Scorpio, you've been having a good roll recently. There's been a lot of good stuff happening. However, it sounds like it's going to get a little bit better, if not more. Let's take a peek at all the rest of the cards. Now, this again is the energy of the reading. Let's look at the energy of you and your specific situation. With you, we have first the Queen of Wands, and again, that is your energy. And it's interesting that we have the Knight of Wands as the overall energy, and you as the Queen of Wands. Again, we're getting some activity as in reference to it could be business or opportunity or need for work or effort and those kind of things. The second card up is the Knight of Wands. And I just said Knight of Wands over here. It's Knight of Cups. What am I saying? This is Knight of Wands. Knight of Cups was this one. I was saying all these wands. Well, I guess I must be psychic because I figured Knight of Wands. Interesting. Anyway, third card, Four of Swords, and the fourth card is the Seven of Swords. Good Swords energy. So now we have Wands energy and Swords energy. Interesting. Remember, Swords energy, when it comes out, is about thinking, and it's about doing, and it's about understanding and growing and learning psychologically. Okay, dealing with things that help you change your mind about things, or things that help you grow and understand that your position is solid because of what you thought. Where with the Wands are again about work and effort and putting time in, and business career as well too. The next is the Seven of Wands, and the Seven of Wands is underneath that Queen of Wands. Then we have the Seven of Pentacles, which is underneath that Knight of Wands. We have the Tower card underneath the Four of Swords, and our final card is the Page of Swords underneath that Seven of Swords. Interesting cards. These cards are all over the map. I'm telling you, the energies with each of these cards, the energies that I felt are very different one to the other. So I find it very interesting how this is going to go and what the reading is going to lead us to. The most important thing, again, we start with the Queen of Wands. Now, when you get that Queen of Wands is patience. Okay, it's patience, it's loving, caring, and it's also. And again, when I talk about love and patience and caring, it's also somebody who knows what they're doing, somebody who is good at what they do. This is more of a business situation, a business thing, as in I understand, I can function well with this, but I will wait for an opportunity to do what I need to do or whatever else. So again, when you get that Queen of Wands, you're getting a much more patient energy. And when you see that with the Knight of Cups, the Knight of Cups is saying push forward. So as you push forward and continue moving on, be patient. Again, keep putting the work in. Keep putting the work in because the ultimate reward is coming. Again, when the Queen of Cups is working with you, she's saying, hey, we're coming to an end. We're coming to the benefit finally. So keep working. Now, underneath the Queen of Cups is a disturbing card to me because it is the Seven of Wands. And that Seven of Wands to me is that struggle. Again, it's that I don't know. It's an energy of push forward, but also against something. So what you're doing, what you're being told here is that you're pushing and you're doing well, but you're hitting a block. You're hitting a block, and the block that is in front of you is movable. And the reason why I say movable is because of that Knight of Cups and also the Knight of Wands, which was beside the Queen. So again, it's a movable obstacle, it's a movable whatever. But for this week are going to be obstacles in front of you. Okay, that's the point, but they are surmountable. Okay, they're not insurmountable, they're surmountable. So as you move through this week, know that something in your, not only, it could be in your business life, could be in your home life, but considering the way these cards are falling out with all the wands, I'm guessing it's something in your business life. There will be roadblocks thrown up at you, but they are surmountable. So keep pushing forward this week, Scorpio. The Seven of Pentacles is here. I'm loving it because when the Seven of Pentacles comes out, the Seven of Pentacles is letting us know that this is going to be there'll be a reward, an abundance reward at the end of this. Now, the abundance reward doesn't only necessarily mean to be money. Again, this could be a stumbling block in your life. It could be an obstacle in your life. It could be something that's blocking and clogging you. And then when you hit this, it's saying you're going to get through this and you're going to be happy, because abundance is not just money. It can be happiness. It can be joy. It can be emotion forward that's heading you somewhere. But the point is that that obstacle will be overcome. And when it does, you're going to get a benefit from having had to deal with it. Now, when the obstacle comes and as it hits you, you're going to be worn out, because this is telling me you're going to need rest. So again, it's going to take a lot out of you to keep pushing forward. It could take a lot out of you emotionally. It could take a lot out of you physically, psychologically, but it took quite a bit out of you. So please make sure that when you feel like you need rest, get the rest. Don't leave it to someone else. Don't leave it to time. Time is not your friend in the sense you need to be well rested. And look at this. I love this card. It's very clear. This is the Tower card. So again, when you bust through that obstacle, as you bust through the obstacle, and it's interesting here because what I'm getting here about the obstacle and the change when you're resting, of course, is that you may not even have to get through the obstacle yourself. You may actually be facing a situation where the obstacle, somebody else takes the obstacle down, or some situation. Because this is the change card. The Death card is the change card that you create, but this is the Death card. I mean, this is the change card that is, again, the surrounding, your environment, your universe, whatever is bringing to change. And so when it creates this change, you benefit, and it takes care of your obstacle. So the good part is, again, stay rested and be ready for the break when it comes, and therefore the opportunity opens itself. There is somebody in your work base, in your home base, wherever, that are going to be betting against you, and pushing against you. They may be even talking bad about you behind your back, maybe to help build themselves up and therefore tear you down. It's easier to tear you down, they think, than to build themselves up, because they may not have what it takes to build themselves up. And so that person may be, that may be the obstacle, and this may be the fact that they get removed. Because again, it could be in a work situation, they could be backstabbing, and then the boss is like, you gotta go, you got to go. It could be a situation where, again, you find it out and you're like, you know what, you go up to them and say, you know what, this got to stop. And then other people are telling the same thing. Or you're talking to somebody else and you tell them about the situation and they go and talk to them. The point is, and it could be other people, again, even in your, again, if we go back to the emotions, we go back into the living situation, you know, you could be in a situation where in your own household, there's some dissent. But conversations they're not telling you, and finally you're like, you know, y'all need to talk to me because I'm part of the conversation. If you think I'm part of the problem, then you have to have the conversation with me so we can be part of the solution. So again, it could be that your spouse is hearing from other people and your spouse lets them know, oh, we ain't playing that game, take that stuff elsewhere. So again, the reason why I go about friends and spouses and work colleagues and bosses is because you don't make the change. Ultimately, you're not the one that creates that change, but the change comes to your benefit. And I love this card too, because this is the Page of Swords. And so the Page of Swords is that you will get the news. When it happens, you'll get the news. You'll hear it, and you're going to be like, oh, damn, I'm glad that happened. And I love it. Look at that. The Six of Wands, the rising above. Again, you will be rising above this. So again, this week is full of obstacles. Oh, look at this. Love this, the World card. Yes, indeed. So again, this week you'll hit an obstacle, or you've already had a little bit of the obstacle. Now it's getting worse. The situation will resolve itself. You need to get rest. Make sure you keep pushing forward yourself. Don't leave it to somebody else. But again, do not be surprised if somebody else removes an obstacle for you. And once you break through, look at this, it's going to be good stuff. So I think it's such a good story. And look at this, there's the Knight of Pentacles too. So again, it's going to open up abundance. So you have three knights. You have the Knight of Cups, you have the Knight of Wands, and you have the Knight of Pentacles. So that means, again, there's a lot of activity this week. This will not be a boring week. There will be a lot of, and it's going to be a lot of activity fast. So you'll see spurts of lots of activity and then nothing, and activity and nothing, and activity. So again, it comes in spurts, but it's quite a bit. The other thing I wanted to point out to you that I saw in here is that we have 3 sevens. 3 sevens. I think that's something to draw our attention to. And when you have the sevens in tarot, 1 7 means like a change in spirituality, a change in divinity or whatever. But when you have the 3, when you have the 3 sevens, the 3 sevens are telling you that it's time to kind of go within yourself, which makes sense if you think about it, because we had that 4 of, let me find it here again as I dig through the cards. We have the 4 of swords. That 4 of swords told us very clearly between the sevens that we needed some rest. We will need some rest. And so when we have the 3 sevens, the 3 sevens are take the time to kind of do hermit mode, to do self-care, to meditate, to connect to your spiritual side, to connect to your earth side, you know, to ground yourself, to get out and put your feet in the dirt, get out and put your feet in the water, whatever it's going to be. But again, the most important thing there is for you to connect to the spiritual, to the emotional, to the psychological side, and to work with that side and just kind of be within yourself and not let the world intrude on you. Do not let the world push its way into you. And that's the key to what this whole thing was about as well. Because again, you're dealing with this, you deal with the drama, you have to make sure you find the rest. We talked about that. And eventually somebody else, some other situation, some other person, or some entity takes that other person and removes them as an obstacle for you, which again opens up a lot of things for you. And then if you're whole spiritually, if you're whole psychologically, when that happens, the benefit is now you're already a whole new person, and now you can do so much more than you ever could have done before. So Scorpio, I can't tell you how amazing that reading came out in the end. If I were you, I would be making this week happen faster. And I would be really open to making sure that I understood all the people around me, the things that they're doing. I would be very cognizant of so much, but I would also be walking around and saying, you know what? You're not taking my joy. Not today, Satan. Get behind me, Satan. Not today. Don't take my joy. Don't take my thunder. It ain't happening, because you ultimately control that. All right, Scorpio? I'm going to let you go. I just feel so great about that reading. I feel wonderful for you. So, yeah, what can I say? Have a great week. Love, light, and blessings from Sonoran Mystic Tarot to you. And I'll see you next week with another reading. Have a great one. Bye-bye.